Welcome back to Comics with Drew. This is Drew, and I thought I should probably do a video about this. This is a tweet that, it was kind of like a throwaway tweet. I didn't really mean to kick up a hornet's nest with this, but apparently it kind of struck a chord with some people. As a preface to this, I want to clarify that when I make tweets like this, it's in the service of trying to help people who are crowdfunding their independent comics. I believe that the way that you can grow independent comics is by making sure that your quality is above and beyond. It's beyond reproach. Your word is your bond. And I see a lot of artists running businesses like an artist might typically run a business and not like a business person might run a business. What I mean by that is that they don't seem to take into account a lot of the different key aspects of what makes a business successful or what makes any kind of project successful in general. So one of these things, and I'm just going to focus this on this one particular topic right now. This is what this video is about. I've seen more than one project where the creator will go on social media like Twitter and they will post an image saying, go back my Indiegogo, my project on Indiegogo. This is what it is. It's the greatest ever, whatever. And then they have this cover that looks phenomenal. You'll have a cover that looks like this, right? So as an example, this is a Jim Lee cover of Batman. And so you get to the Indiegogo page or the crowdfunding page, you start looking at it and you're like, oh man, this looks phenomenal. Look at this. This is amazing art. And this book sounds like a great idea. The premise sounds really fantastic. Man, I cannot wait to buy this book. And oftentimes what will happen is if you scroll down a little bit further, you start seeing interior pages, and the interior pages look like this. Don't do this, all right? So here's my thing, all right? This is Gary Larson from The Far Side, and it's a very distinct style, and there's nothing wrong with this style. It's not Jim Lee, obviously, but, I mean, who really is Jim Lee? So the thing is that you don't want to do false advertising. There's a movie called The Bank Job. It's a Jason Statham movie. And if you watch the trailer for this film, you get the idea that this is an action-packed heist movie and that you're going to have a lot of car chases and you're going to have a lot of action scenes and fighting and gunfights and stuff like that. But then when you go to watch the movie, it is the most boring film you could possibly imagine. I'm sorry if you feel differently, but to me, I felt like that trailer lied to me. And when it comes to crowdfunding comic books, especially since these aren't going to be coming out weekly, we're not talking about variant covers here. We're talking about the main cover looking completely different from what you get from the interior. And the issue that really drives me up a wall is when I start seeing advertisements and people go to great lengths to showcase the cover like this, and then they kind of like in, hushed tones talk about interiors like this. If you're the artist, okay, and this is your style of work, put this on the cover. Let people know this is what they're going to get. There's nothing wrong with this. A lot of times, I think maybe some people will get something phenomenal as far as, fan art is concerned, or they might be able to line up a professional artist who can do a phenomenal cover for them. But you should have faith in your work. You should have faith in the idea and the project that you're putting together, that it's worthy of being something that someone would want to purchase. My opinion is that you should make a book that you would buy if you did not know who you were. You should make a book that you would walk into a store and you would see it on the shelf and you would say, that catches my eye. I really want to go take a look at that, and you might leaf through it and then you might make that purchase. When you put a book out like this, what you're doing is you're kind of doing a bait and switch, and you shouldn't do that. You should have confidence that your work is going to stand up to the expectations of your clientele. That's really all I'm trying to say with this tweet. The tweet is, don't advertise your crowdfunded book with a cover only if that cover looks absolutely nothing like your interior art. I feel like that's unethical, and I do feel like that's unethical. I'm not going to name names, There are several campaigns that have done this, and it doesn't really help your cause when your book comes out like that. I've seen some reviews where people show the book and they show the cover, and I'm watching the review and I see the cover and I'm like, good Lord, that cover is brilliant. But then you look on the interior and you're like, what the heck happened here? If you have someone who can do a fantastic cover, make it a variant cover. Let people know, hey, here's a variant cover by X amazing artist, and you can pick that up as well. But make sure that the thrust of your main marketing is dominated with the actual original cover for the main version of the book. And that way people know what they're getting when they go to your crowdfunding page, and they can instantly make that purchase with that correct perk and have full confidence that they're going to get the product that you're promising them. That's really all this is about. Just to go through a couple of the replies here. Smiling Bandito came back with, really, I've never had a problem with a different artist doing the cover. Full disclosure, I'm having a different artist do the interiors than cover. I'm planning to advertise the interiors, though. Does that help in this situation so people can see what the work is going to be? Again, a different artist doing the cover is not the problem. A different artist doing Jim Lee versus Gary Larson, that's the problem. So if you have, like, say, Bill Keane from the Family Circus doing the cover for a Gary Larson book, then you're going to have similar kind of artwork, okay? If you're having, like, comic strippy artwork, that's one thing. But if you've got, like, the freaking Mona Lisa here, and then you're putting in, crayon drawings on the interior, that's the problem. Don't do that. Have a little bit more confidence in what you're doing. So, people kept talking about this. Michael Loden from the Embrace was talking about how this motivated him to make sure that his book didn't have something like this. Greg here is, as long as you show the pages samples, that's fine. And this is all true. That's all accurate. And this Joey Abbott here says, I can think of some projects like this. I won't be back in their issues number 2. My project has a main cover by the interior artist, but I will also be doing variant covers. Is the interior art up to snuff? This is the interior art. This is the cover. There isn't anything wrong with this. This looks phenomenal. So this is not what I am talking about. Again, I'm talking about putting this out when you're really selling this. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. But I really appreciate everybody that replied and liked the tweet. This is probably one of the most popular tweets I've done. I felt like it was important that I actually clarified what I'm meaning by this. Again, the whole point of this channel is to, when it comes to crowdfunding books, have constructive criticism. We have to do better if you're going to try to build an audience with your work. Again, like I always like to say, if you want to put comic creator on your tax return, you want to make sure that it's something that is professional in all aspects, and that comes from the production to the crowdfunding to the deadlines that you're meeting and being in contact with your customers and letting them know what the status of things are. These are all very key components that I think get really overlooked. The bottom line is under promise, over deliver. Under promise, don't promise something that you can't do, but promise something that actually isn't quite as good as what you intend to deliver. So that way people have their expectations set, and then when you come back with something that is just spectacular and above and beyond what they even originally were looking for or were expecting, then they not only did they get what they paid for, but they got extra above that. That's the beginning of a successful career. Again, this is Comics with Drew. I'm Drew. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like listening to me ramble about this kind of stuff, and I'll see you next time.